Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Dion, and today we are going to talk about de-influencing. This was a trend in the past, I think like 3 or 4 months that I saw come up a lot on TikTok, and then articles started being written about it. And I've said this before, but sometimes I like to suckle at the teat of a trend. Like as soon as a trend is born, I want to be on it, making a video about it for you guys. Sometimes I like to wait for the trend to kind of like rise, fall, have the dust settle, and see where it goes from there, just so I can get like a holistic view on the trend. So that's what I did with de-influencing. A lot of people started talking about it and making videos about it maybe like a month or 2 ago, but I just kind of wanted to see what was going on. I wanted to lurk in the shadows a little bit. So if you like fashion trends and just like fashion commentary in general, definitely make sure to subscribe to my channel because I post videos every Thursday. With that, let's get into it. So in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about the background of de-influencing, the rise and fall of it, and then I'm going to tell you guys what I'm de-influencing. So like I said, this trend did start, I feel like in like late January, early February of this year, and is highly credited to Alyssa Cremelis, whose video about de-influencing has over 5.4 million views. Many hypothesize that the rise of de-influencing has much to do with our growing recession. Hi, JJ. Where online personalities are telling their views to save money instead of spend. Essentially, de-influencing is taking items and products that thousands of influencers have pushed on you saying, it's not worth the hype, or simply, you don't need that. Influencers tell you, you must try this new product. De-influencing tells you it's not worth the hype. Not only did the incoming recession usher in an era of de-influencing, but Mascara-gate also had a hand in it. If you don't know about Mascara-gate, essentially this makeup TikToker posted a L'Oreal mascara collaboration, and in the before and after, that TikToker used like falsies or eyelash extensions in order to make it look more dramatic, and like the mascara was working even better. Now this is really common in professional ads. However, it actually is illegal for influencers to do that, for online personalities to do that in a sponsorship campaign. So that blew up because people were like, oh my God, influencers are so over dramatic when they're trying new products. Like the classic, they'll put a little bit of blush on and be like, oh my God, you guys. Oh my God, look at this eyeshadow palette.
Oh my God.
And it's like, girl, how do you even know if you like it? Like, you haven't even tried it yet. And I think with like TikTok, the like makeup influencer era sort of like came back with a vengeance. Like it was really big on YouTube, and then I feel like it sort of like took a step back for a minute, and it came back with a vengeance on TikTok. And as a result, like hyper consumerism of makeup and makeup influencers getting sponsorships, I think it kind of just came to a fever pitch where people were just sort of over influencers being such a figurehead for corporations, to like being basically a commercial. I feel like people just got over influencers being a commercial, because before, the original YouTubers and stuff like that, they were just trying to give you honest opinions about fashion, makeup, whatever, like this is what I like, because they weren't getting sponsorships. But now in the world of brand deals, it's like everyone is getting a sponsorship. So it's like, what do you actually like, and what are you just saying you like for a brand deal? And this brings up the question, why do influencers overhype products in a disingenuous way in the first place? And one of which, of course, is money with the brand deals. They want to seem like a good worker. They want more people to use their code. They want people to click their link, and they want that corporation to enjoy their work and want to hire them again. And I mean, influencers, that is a type of livelihood. I don't like to consider myself an influencer because I'm like, I don't influence people to buy things. I like to say content creator, if anything, because I create YouTube content on here and I create content on all that. I don't know. Influencer, it just makes me feel like I'm a commercial and I'm trying to get you guys to buy things, which if you've ever watched any videos on my channel, you would know that that's the opposite of what I try to do. That being said, if any brand wants to sponsor this YouTube channel, please do so, because you know what? You can be critical of a system while also
participating in it, and I have to make money. I have a cat and a dog to feed.
So the social media climate was already pretty hostile to influencers pushing products on us, especially in the last couple of years with the rise of massive Amazon and Shein hauls. And I think Mascaragate sealed the influencers' fate for now. People are over it, thus de-influencing came out.
This also goes without saying, and I hope you guys know that, but I know every influencer or content creator says this, but like, I don't take brand. I'm very strict on the brands that I work with, and I've only had like 4 or 5 little brand deals, most of them on TikTok, very like not great money, that kind of thing. And the work that I do is not like advertising the product on my social media. It's mostly making videos for them to post on their social media, especially with the freelance work I do now. It's like, it's not like, here's Dion on this, that, and the other. It's just like, I'm just their TikTok person, whatever, just to be transparent.
So I will say I love the de-influencing trend from a sustainability point of view, because I love the idea that we are telling people that you don't need to buy 30 blushes. You don't need to buy every lipstick dupe out there, because one of the biggest problems that we have right now is overconsumption and hyperconsumerism. We take and take and take and throw out when we're done. So a trend that says don't bother buying this is good in my book. However, this short-lived anti-consumerism trend started to morph into more of the same, where instead of creators saying don't buy this, it became buy this, not that, which is influencing someone to buy something. It's upsetting that a trend about conscious purchases and not wasting money turned into a trend about dupes, essentially. I've had a hard time with influencers, especially when their main thing is trying and reviewing products, linking them in their storefront, or having a code. And that's if that's the only thing that you do. I know a lot of people who take sponsorships and brand deals here and there, and like I've done brand deals and stuff like that. And I think that's okay if you genuinely like the product and you want to and it's a way to make money as a content creator. My problem is when it's like every single one of your YouTube videos or TikToks or whatever is a makeup haul, a fashion haul, an Amazon review, whatever. Like when there's been a lot of like fashion creators that I liked that slowly every single video on their channel, it was like Shein haul, Boohoo haul, Pretty Little Thing haul, Abercrombie haul. It was like every single one. And I was just like, whoa, I can't do this. Or makeup influencers that I really liked. And then all of a sudden, every single video, instead of makeup tutorials or whatever, it was makeup haul, massive makeup haul, Sephora haul, Ulta haul. It just got insane. So, and I mean, hyperconsumerism really, really grosses me out, and it stresses me out. Like when I see people hyperconsume, I work in retail, and so I see it a lot, and it like really grosses me out. It really grosses me out personally. Like, I'm not trying to make anyone feel bad, but like ugh. So again, I'm not trying to like criticize only influencers, but I am criticizing how buy crazy we are, like how consumer crazy we are, especially in the United States, but like Western society in general, and like the world at this moment. We are so, or the global north, I should say, we are so hyper consumeristic, and then we give all of our trash to the global south. And it's really like, when you look at the life cycle of what you return, what you donate, what you throw out, like it's crazy. It's crazy, you guys. We need to scale back on the consumerism. So with that, I want to talk about what I'm de-influencing. So the first thing, and I've said this before, I'll say it again, brand new furniture, especially big furniture like tables, bed frames, dressers. If every single furniture company stopped right now, stopped manufacturing, we would have enough furniture already on the planet to furnish everybody's home and probably still have some left over. And I understand that there are artisans and made-to-order furniture and that kind of thing, which is not necessarily what I'm talking about, those investment furniture pieces. I'm talking about Target furniture. I'm talking about IKEA furniture. I'm talking about H&M home furniture and stuff like that. Since the pandemic, the rise of fast furniture really came about because people were stuck in their homes, so naturally they were trying to shake it up. However, I'm not trying to sound boomer, but like when my grandparents, who were born in 1920, got married in the 40s, they were gifted a bed set, dresser, like a bedroom set, queen bed, dresser, whatever. And when they died, I now have that bed frame in my bedroom at home in Miami, and it still works and it's still whatever. Someone took one of the ovens from the house as well, which was from like the 50s or 60s, because it lasts longer than the ovens that we have now. We simply, because we live in such a consumeristic society, corporations and companies specifically design things to break. It's called planned obsolescence. It's not built to last, whereas previously, before we became a replace society, when we were more of a repair society, pre-80s, 90s really, people bought furniture once. People bought appliances once. That was it. And you repair it and you finish it or whatever, but like you're not replacing and throwing things out all the time. So things were built to last. I know I sound very, very boomer, but that is a true fact. So I really just do not think we need to buy any more furniture. This was found on the street, the dresser over there was found on the street, the cat tree right there was found on the street, like my dresser right there was found on the street. I just go around and find street furniture, and I promise you it'll be crazy. I have a video about how to find street furniture if you're interested. Facebook Marketplace is excellent, Craigslist is excellent, OfferUp is excellent, Buy Nothing Groups is excellent. Vintage furniture, like if you want to actually invest in really cool furniture, if you're not just trying to like quickly furnish a apartment for cheap, like investing in actual cool vintage furniture that was made to last is so much better than like buying new, in my opinion. The next thing I'm de-influencing are those robe curl things. Now, full disclosure, I was sent a robe curl apparatus in exchange for a TikTok video, and I did really like it when my hair was shorter. It worked, it was fine. I did robe like with a robe belt prior. If you don't know what I'm talking about, robe curls. However, now that my hair is longer, I found that my robe curl thing wasn't fitting, and I didn't necessarily like the wire in it that kept it stiff to make it hold, because I found that I would end up getting dents. I use this silk scarf that I got from an estate sale, this long silk scarf from an estate sale. Damn, try to say that 5 times fast. I didn't do it last night, so my hair looks bad, but I sprayed my hair with some oil, with some water, and then I put oil on the ends, and then I wrap it in my little silk scarf, and then I take the ends and I wrap the hair around it before I put the hair tie on, so I don't get any dents in my hair, and the bottom of my hair is protected from moving around and all of that. I find that actually brings me the best curls of my life, and my hair is softer because it's protected in the satin and oil moisture mixture or whatever. Find a silk scarf. I'm sure your mom has one. I'm sure you can find one at a thrift store or an estate sale like I did. I don't think you need to be buying a whole ass apparatus from Target or Walmart or wherever to do a robe curl in your hair. I think you could use a robe belt, which works wonders, or a silk scarf, which is my preferred method. Okay, now we're getting specific, but it's the Urban Decay 24-Hour Glide-On Eyeliner. Now, I've been wearing eyeliner since I was 14, and I've been wearing brown eyeliner since I was 15. So I've tried like every brown eyeliner under the market. And what I look for in a brown eyeliner is I want it to go on creamy, because I like to make a wing and then smudge it and sharpen it with my fingers, but then I need it to stay. That is always what I'm on the hunt for with eyeliners, and I was a drugstore girly for a while, and everyone said like the Urban Decay 24-Hour Glide-On Liner, like that is it. And I spent whatever, they're like $24 or something. Girl, that is not, I don't know, someone lied to her several times. I don't know why people like that eyeliner. I mean, it's fine, but it's not for me. I didn't think it was all that. And in that same vein, makeup palettes. Now, I only wear makeup like 3 times a week, but I'm such a suck. I love watching like palette reviews. I love makeup palettes, like eyeshadow palettes. I think they're so beautiful, but I hardly ever wear heavy eyeshadow. When I do, it's basically on this channel or like the once in a blue moon when I go out, which is basically never. So I really actually need to hear this de-influencing right now because Trixie Cosmetics is coming out with a extravaganza palette. Like, it's so beautiful. I want it. Oh my God, it's so my brand. But I have another Trixie Cosmetics palette, and I just got this beautiful Huda Beauty palette that has a bunch of like browns in it. And then I've had this ColourPop palette where you put the little pro pans in it, so you can just choose eyeshadow colors instead of getting a palette, and it's magnetized. So I had that for a while, and then my friend gave me the Trixie Cosmetics one, which I love. It has a lot of bright colors, and I realized I needed a couple of more blending, neutral, shady colors. So I got this Huda Beauty one, which is so beautiful. And then I found out I think Huda is kind of canceled, so oops. Luckily for everyone, I will be using that eyeshadow palette for like 10 years because I don't throw out makeup. I feel like now I'm like, I have my bright colors, I have my neutrals, I have some blends. Like, I really don't need another eyeshadow palette. I only have 2 eyes. I hardly ever wear makeup like that. It's just so tempting. They're so pretty. Okay, this one, I'm hitting it where it hurts as I'm looking at my dog and cat right now, which are pet toys. Now, I guess people don't really influence you to buy pet toys like they do the Urban Decay 24-hour glide on liner or 24/7 or makeup palettes. Like, people influence you to do that all the time, or furniture. But I am such a sucker if I have to go into PetSmart because I have to get them food today. And I'm such a sucker for like seasonal pet toys, especially. The only ones I let myself have are Halloween because that's my favorite holiday. But like Marnie, she doesn't need more than like 2 little cat wands. She barely uses them. She prefers to like play with my crochet yarn instead. And JJ has so many toys, and he's not a shredder, so he doesn't really destroy toys that much or that often. And he's small, he's 30 pounds. And so I don't need 20 stuffed toys because they're gonna last me so long. So I've told everyone in my life, I'm like, put a pause on dog toys because people gift me dog toys a lot. My boyfriend will go to Costco and get me like a 10-pack of dog toys. And I'm like, how many dogs do you think I have? So I try to be good about throwing them out or sewing them when they start the stuffing coming out. You really don't want to keep them with the stuffing coming out. Trust me, I know JJ throws it up all the time. Marnie's just not that interested. She's a typical cat where she doesn't really care about the toys that you buy her. She'd much rather like play with my friggin' eyeliner or like my lighter, you know? It's so tempting because I'm like, I'm not buying it for me, I'm buying it for them. I'm being a good mom if I buy for them, not a hyper consumer. This one is definitely like, if you're part of Book Talk, you'll kind of get what I'm talking about. And it's books. Okay, I know I'm from Florida, but I don't mean it in that way. I'm de-influencing like giant book hauls because I think on Book Talk, especially if you're like a big book talker, book TikToker, then you're like, oh, my giant library full of like hundreds of books, and oh, I went to Barnes and Noble and I bought 10 books. What about the books that you already bought that you haven't read yet? Oh, ha ha ha. It's like a meme. Like, I buy so many books even though I haven't finished the books that I've already bought, etc. And I'm not trying to burst anybody's bubble. I'm a huge reader. I love books. However, I don't think we need to be doing all that.
Dad, I know you're watching this. I don't mean our Barnes and Noble's trips when I was a kid where we get sticky buns and buy like 20 books. But to be fair, there are some books at your apartment that I never even ended up reading from like 10 years ago. But yes, I used to be a big book hauler. Mostly because my dad didn't have TV or internet for a while, so that's kind of on you, Dad. But yeah, I used to definitely be a big book hauler, like where I would get like 10 books at a time. So I empathize with everyone out there.
My tips for not hyper consuming books is first, when you're like, ooh, I want this book, check it out from the library. Libraries are so important to communities. They provide so much good. And even if you think you don't get that much out of it, supporting your local library in any way you can is helping the least fortunate in your community. Like, local libraries are so friggin' important, you guys, I can't even tell you. So first, check out the book from the library. See if you actually like it. Because if you're a book talker, a book influencer, and you have 100 books on your shelf, let's say you read 80 of them. That means there's 20 books that you haven't read yet. And let's say out of the 80 that you did read, you liked 60 of them. So now you have 60 books that you read and liked. Out of those 60, how many would you reread again? 50? So now half of your bookshelf are books that you actually like, would reread again, do enjoy, want to annotate, etc. And the other half are things you haven't read once, probably won't reach for again, didn't really like. I don't know. For me, my personal library, my home library, I want to be only the best of the best in terms of books. I want it to be my favorite books. I want it to be, so whenever I turn to my personal library, it is like curated to me. So check it out from your local library. I understand a lot of people like to annotate and do that in books. I'm not that type of person. I don't really know if people annotate in the first round of reading. Like if I do annotate, I like to read it all the way through first and then reread it and annotate it. That's just me. But you can also always get books secondhand. I use thriftbooks.com all the time. I use thebookdepository.com all the time. You can get used books on Barnes & Noble as well, but get a used book. What's better than an old book smell? Like, oh, it's so comforting. Isn't that what I feel like as bookish people like the smell of old books, a worn-in book. I know the cracking of the spine and all that, but there's something so magical about having a book in your home that was previously loved. So I'm like, did the other person love this book? Did they not? How do they feel? Like, I love that the book has been places. It's not just my story to own. And you can choose, like, if it's heavily marked or unheavily marked, depending on the price, whatever, like a brand new, all of that jazz. I also love the app Libby. It's free. You connect your library card and you have access to ebooks and audiobooks. I use Libby all the time. And so maybe read it as an ebook first from Libby, from your local library, see if you like it, then buy it used. That way you can annotate it and have it in your library if you really, really like it. Rather than buying a book new, not liking it, and then you just spent $20 on a hardback that you didn't even like. You know, it's a waste of money, and it's also a waste of clutter and space. And having books that you didn't really like in your library, like, ew, no. Have like your library, your personal library should be yours and curated to you, in my opinion. So yeah, check it out from your local library. Check it out on Libby, ebook or audiobook. If you really want to annotate your first round, then buy it used. And I can guarantee you can find like 98% of the books that you're looking for used or at your local library. I think it's a smarter way to curate your library. It'll cause like less clutter in your brain and in your library, obviously. If you support your local library, that's incredible, and then you're not producing more waste. So yeah, I'm de-influencing giant book hauls. I know Book Talk is not gonna like this one, but someone had to say it. Also, then once you like the book, then you can, let's say like you checked out Pride and Prejudice from the library. Once you like the book, then you can go out and pick like your favorite version with the pretty cover. You know, if you want to buy it new, whatever. But again, it's about like, before just hitting buy, it's about like consciously taking a step back, having like a barrier between you buying something immediately and you enjoying it. Like, rent it out, check it out, date it for a little while, and then you can marry it. Okay, and my last one definitely fits into this with the instant gratification of buying, which is I'm de-influencing Amazon. I'm really, really tired of the rise of influencers suckling at the cojones of Jeff Bezos. What the hell are you, like, I feel like the rise of Amazon influencers is crazy. Everyone, even influencers that are sustainable that I respect, have like an Amazon storefront. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, I personally boycott Amazon. And people are like, how do you do that? It is not hard. There has not been since 2019 when I started boycotting Amazon, there has not been once where I was like trapped into a corner and really had to buy from Amazon. Not once. This idea that it's convenient is like such an illusion, you guys. How to frame it is like, I really believe that you vote with your dollar. Like every time, like $1, if money is power, then each dollar is one PowerPoint, power paper. So even if someone is a almost trillionaire like Jeff Bezos, that's a lot of power. And you want me, Dion Rank, working in fucking retail, to give him more of my power via cash money. If you think about it this way, like anything you see on Amazon, you can just buy directly from the company, and you don't need things in 1 or 2 days. That's an addiction. It's a instant gratification thing. It's like playing slots. It's like you put the money in, you get something out. They have done research on like shopping being an addiction and a compulsion, and Amazon feeds and preys on that with their Prime and everything. And when you return things from Amazon, half the things that they get returned get thrown out, even if they're brand new in the packaging. Like, stop. How I think of it is like, let's say Maria is selling books, and I'm like, hey Maria, I want to buy your book. And she's like, sweet, go to Jeff, he's selling my book. So I was like, okay. And I'm like, I don't really like Jeff anyway. I'm like, what's up, Jeff? And he's like, bald. I'm like, hello, would you like to buy a book? And I'm like, yeah, I want to buy Maria's book. And he's like, that'll be $20. I was like, okay, is this all going to Maria? And he's like, no, Maria gets 15 and I get 5. And I'm like, well, why are you getting 5? He's like, for the convenience, because Maria would have to go back to her house and get the book and then give it to you, and I have it right here. And I'm like, so all I would do is have to wait a little bit and then all my money goes to Maria for her product? He's like, yes, but I'm convenient, so I'm going to get that $5. No, why would I give a trillionaire money? Think about it that way. Why should we plebeians be giving an almost trillionaire money? He should be giving me money in the form of taxes that he doesn't pay. It really grosses me out how much influencers are promoting Amazon, and it's so disappointing because Amazon is a disgusting company that exploits their workers and is union busting. Jeff Bezos is disgusting, and the fact that you could support his business is supporting him. When you give Jeff Bezos business, when you buy from Amazon, you are giving Jeff Bezos money. Even if it's 1% gets of your money, of the sales of Amazon makes, goes to whatever, it still helps him. So when you put it in that mindset, would you really want to give, if Jeff Bezos came up to you and asked you for $1, would you want to give it to him? A friggin' trillionaire? No. I know that there's no ethical consumption under capitalism, and it's really hard to avoid these big corporations. But for me, de-influencing Amazon has less to do with hyper-consumerism, less to do with like corporate greed or whatever. It's just like, I'm de-influencing Jeffrey Bezos. I do not want people to support him and support his business. And like, listen, Walmart, the Walton family, disgusting. Elon Musk, disgusting. And when those three like barons are gobbling up every single business and creating this oligarchical society of billionaire dickbags, it's really hard to avoid. And I understand that. But I will say, I think with a little bit more effort, you can do exactly what you're doing without buying from Amazon. I really don't think, like, there are very certain circumstances. I'm not saying everyone, but I'm saying for the most part, I would say 90% of us don't need to buy from Amazon. I understand that some people can't leave their house. I understand some people live in the middle of nowhere and can't get to a store or whatever. But I really think with a little effort, you can find exactly what you want to order from a different website that you're not supporting Jeffrey Bezos. Don't cross the picket line. People are striking, like Amazon workers are striking. Don't cross that picket line. A lot of us can't avoid buying from terrible companies, but if you can, like, really think, do I want to give the Walmart family more money? Do I want to give Jeffrey Bezos more money? Why should I be giving them money? I don't care if it's for a good or a service. Why the hell am I giving you money? For you to vote with your dollar, if you like, as much as you can. And listen, and not everything can be a vote. I can sure shit tell you, I wouldn't vote for my landlord, but I'm giving them money, right? Like, we can't avoid every single choice, but I think we have a lot more choice and power as consumers. Since we live in a supply and demand society, we need to demand better pay for workers. We need to demand ethical waste management and sustainable practices. We need to demand those things and withhold our power, our money, until they supply it. That's how it works. We have so much more power as a consumer when we work as a collective than the industry lets us on. This idea of there's no ethical consumption under capitalism, but there are more ethical choices. And I really encourage you to try to make more ethical choices. Not just say, well, if there's no ethical consumption, might as well gobble on Jeffrey Bezos's cojones. Like Walmart, like Tesla, like Amazon, they work with politicians to write legislation to benefit corporations. It's called ALEC, the American Legislative Exchange Council. You can look it up. It's real. You can't give these people more power because they're buying their way into politics. With Citizens United, which is a Supreme Court case, corporations are allowed to give millions of dollars to politicians for their campaign. Basically buying political figureheads to do their bidding for them. So much so that some politicians don't even take off the ALEC logo when they're presenting their bill. So they're like, did you work with ALEC and a corporation to write this? And they're like, no. They're like, well, why'd you leave the logo on there? And they're like, before anybody comments, I have a bachelor's of science in political science, and I'm a published author on ALEC, the American Legislative Exchange Council. I'm a peer-reviewed, published source in a research journal. So I do know what I'm talking about when it comes with politics and corporations. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Sorry it ended on an intense note. I want to know, what are you guys de-influencing? Do you disagree with any of my de-influencing choices? I'm sure you do, especially book talk. This was really fun to make. Maybe I'll do another de-influencing video eventually. Give this video a thumbs up. Oop, this is falling down if you did like it. And subscribe to my channel because I post videos every Thursday. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram because I post content there almost every single day. And with that, I'll see you next week. Bye. Have a happy, happy day. Bye.